I'm on mass record, and it is recording. So as I was saying a while ago, I've been coaching about 2 years, and when I started this, I didn't know the impact that personal development would have on me. Deidre was talking about reading, and she's talking about the slight edge and the compound effect and things like that. And honestly, as you start this business, there's a lot of unknowns that are kind of exciting, right? The unknowns of all the people that I did not know, like Alicia and Jared. You know, I got to meet them and got to talk to them and got to know them. Coaches that are on my team that are unknowns. But the thing too that are unknowns in this life is the unknowns of the highs and lows. And personal development is more than just helping you with this company. It's helping you with life. So when I talk about personal development, I always like to ask, how many of y'all have ever been through a hard time? Anybody? And you know, how many of y'all are going through hard times now? Let's just be honest. Anybody going through any highs and lows, you know, right now it's just like, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where it's going to go. And I know, just like with this journey as a Beachbody coach, you get to share some of that, but you never really share it all, right? I'll just say, for example, I know, you know, Sarah's been sharing some of her story and stuff like that. And I would never know that because Sarah lives like miles and miles away. Obviously, she don't live in the South. She lives in the North. And so I don't get to hear or know all that personal stuff, but seeing it through social media lets me see that she goes through. Because when I see Sarah, I see smiles, I see happy, her and her husband, their family, they got it going on, you know, life's just perfect and nothing's wrong. And then you start reading her story and you see, man, life is a struggle, you know, for everybody. And everybody goes through highs and lows. I'm trying to mute some of y'all that are not muted. But I shared this before, and I want to like talk about it again tonight. I sat in a Sunday school class just right across the street several years ago, and I had some old men that told me, they said, you know, you're either in hard times, you're going into hard times, or you're coming out of it. And I said it probably 37 years old, 36 years old at that time. And I thought, man, I've never been through hard times. You know, I just want to experience other people's hard times. I want to read about Sarah's story, and I want to see how she survives, and I want to learn from it. And that's the hard times that I want to go through. You know, I don't want to have to experience my own, but in the past couple of years, I've experienced the hardest times that I've ever been through. And I'll have to say, as a Beachbody coach, that's something that's changed my life, because if it wasn't for this family, you know, if it wasn't for personal development, and if it wasn't for God who gave me all these things, I don't know how I would have made it through it. So one of the quotes that I love, and I am a quote freak. I can't remember people's names. I can't remember a lot of things, but I love quotes. And it said, one quote by Thomas Edison says, if we all did the things that we were capable of, we would astound ourselves. And think about that for just a second. If we all did the things that we were capable of, we would blow our own minds, right? If you sit back and you think of, you know, the things that you've accomplished in life, and you thought, I'd never be able to do that. I'd never be able to lose that weight. I'd never be able to reach that goal. I'd never be able to get through this storm, but you did it. And if you really was to reach your maximum, if you was to reach above what you ever tried to do, you would blow your own mind at what you do. You sit back and you watch somebody like Beth who just become a 2-star, and you're like, I'll never do that. Well, if you continue to say those things, then you'll never reach those goals. And that's what I love about personal development, is because it helps you to be able to do things that you never thought that you'd be able to do. And Melanie was talking about this book. I don't know if y'all seen this book, The Energy Bus. Is anybody reading it right now? So I'm reading it right now, and I will have to. I'm gonna show y'all something. I just got to show y'all. Let's go on a tour of my house. How about that? Not really, but I want to show y'all something real quick. So where's that? Y'all see, like, inside of there. This is my closet. Y'all see all that stuff in there? Those are all like books and books and books. All books that I have read. And as I was saying earlier, before I became a Beachbody coach, I read one book of Mice and Men, and that was it. And so I really wasn't passionate about reading, and now I am. And the thing that I'm most passionate about with personal development is I see people now through a different set of eyes. I see people that are just walking around like zombies, right? They're just going through life and they're just average. And it was something that somebody had said one time, and they said, most people die at 25, but they're not buried until they're 75. That sucks. Think about that. Most people die Most people die at 25, but they're not buried until they're 75. And if you think about that, that's true, because what do you do as kids? What do you do as kids? You dream, you have goals, you have dreams, you have all these things that you think you can do. You can be a fireman, a football player, a baseball player. You can be the president of the United States. I don't know who would want to be that, but anyway, you can do anything that you want to do. But then when we become adults, we stop dreaming, right? We walk around with no drive, no life, no desire, no passion or anything. And in this book right here, The Energy Bus, the first chapter that it's talking about that you have to take control of your own bus, right? And too many of us are sitting around and we're letting other people drive our bus. What does that mean? We're letting other people determine where we go and what we become. And that's sad. And that's where personal development comes in, because it helps you to realize that, you know what, I've got one life to live and I can do so many great things. So tonight I want to just talk about that first chapter in The Energy Bus, because it's really got me thinking more and more as I look at my coaches. One of my coaches is Tiffany Albertson. She's not on this call tonight. She couldn't make it. But Tiffany is somebody that when she first became a coach, she didn't believe in herself. She didn't have any confidence. And now she's got a ton of confidence. But me and myself and Kim O'Keefe, who's on this call tonight, we're in a little group message with Tiffany all the time. And we see things in her that she don't even see. And it's the same thing with you. You know, when Beth first started this, her coach probably looked at her and said, you can do this. You can become a 2-star. And Beth was probably like, I don't know. You know, Sarah can become a rock star coach. You know, Alicia can become a rock star coach. Megan, so on and so on and so forth. They've seen things in you that you didn't even see. So, you know, the thing that you have to realize is that you can take the wheel and you can choose to create your own life. But it starts with one choice at a time, right? It's your bus. You choose where your bus is going. Think about that. You take the wheel and you change the direction. If you don't like where it's going, then you change direction. Now, on this bus, we've got passengers, right? We've got people in our life. Sarah's got her husband, you got all these people that are around you, got your family and all this. But ultimately, every day you get to make a choice at where you're going. But how do you know where you're going? You wake up in the morning and you're like, well, I don't really have any goals in life. I don't really have any dreams in life. I don't really have any desires, aspirations. I don't know what I want to do. Where do you think that you're going to end up if you live that type of life? If you live the type of life that you have no goals, no dreams, no aspirations, you don't think that there's better days ahead, you don't believe in yourself, where do you think that you're going to go? You're not going to go anywhere. You have to wake up every morning. You have to have dreams. You have to have a vision. One thing that Beachbody's done for me is just given me hope, right? If you hadn't heard me share this before, my why for being a Beachbody coach is freedom. It's freedom of time. It's freedom of money. It's freedom of, my spirit, it's freedom to be able to give, because I love to be able to go on mission trips and all those different things. It's freedom. So first in your life, not just with Beachbody, you have to decide what you want. You have to decide where you want to go. You have to write it down. One of the silliest things I thought and I'm going to show y'all something. I'll see this thing right here. It's like a dream board, goal board, and all this different stuff. And I remember when I became a coach, Deidre said, you need to go to Oprah.com and you need to make this dream board and blah, blah, blah. And Sarah and Megan and Alicia and Beth and all these coaches was doing all these pretty frizzly little dream boards and goal boards and all this. And I was like, yeah, that's not for me. That's not real manly. And I'm probably not going to do that. And I did it anyway, right? It wasn't as pretty as theirs, but I had these things. And I've got this board in front of me right here. But it gives me vision. And I don't care if you're 20, 30, 40, or 50, if you don't do personal development, if you don't do things that can build your mind and build your vision, and if you don't have a vision, you're not going to get anywhere. I read something one time, and it was talking about that our life is like a garden, right? And we get to choose, who we let in it. We get to choose what we plant. We get to choose all those different things. See you.
Hello, and here she's going.
We get to choose all those different things. So every day, personal development is one of those things that I allow into my life. It's a positive thing that I get to allow into my life. And tonight, I want to challenge you with this. If you don't have a vision for your life, and that's including your health, if you don't have a vision for your life as far as where you want to be 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years from now, you don't have a vision for your career, your job, your team, your relationship, your family. If you don't have a vision of where you're going, then you need to create one. Because if you don't, you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to end up anywhere. You're going to continue to do the same monotonous things that most people do every day. So you have to remember that you're the driver of your life. And you think about this, every day we're looking for where we want to be, right? We're looking for what we want to become. It seems like a simple question, right? But you look to someone else for the answer. You're like, okay, what should my dreams be? What should my goals be? But you're the only one that knows that. I cannot look inside of, Kim's heart and say, Kim, what is your passion? Where do you want to be? I can't look inside of Lori's life, inside of her mind, and say, where do you want to be 10 years from now, 20 years from now? What do you want to become? How do you want to impact? Who do you want to impact? What do you want to leave behind with this world? You have to decide that. And if you let other people decide that, which we do all the time, if we let other people decide that, we'll be the most miserable people that we could possibly be. How many of y'all know any miserable people? Anybody? They go to jobs that they hate. They pay bills that they hate. They're living a life that they hate, and they're miserable. And you know what? One day, this is what I tell my challengers and my coaches all the time. One day at the end of this life, you're gonna go through life, and you're gonna have struggles, or you're gonna have regrets, right? You're gonna fight for things that you want right now, and it's gonna be a struggle, and it's gonna be tough, and that's where personal development helps you all the time. Or you're gonna lay on your deathbed one day, and you're gonna have a ton of regrets. I promise you, if I can continue on this path I'm on right now, I don't know where God's gonna lead me, but I'll lay there one day and I'll say, I have no regrets. I did my very best. So today, I want you to determine to do this. I want you to determine to be the driver of your own bus, the driver of your own life, to grab a hold of that steering wheel of this life that God's give you, and to determine which direction you want to go. That's the things that you need to think about. And you have to take action on it, right? You have to have a plan every day. How many of y'all do a power hour? Why do we have a power hour? Because Sarah teaches her coaches. I know it because she's got rock star coaches that are up and coming and things like that. She says, okay, do a power hour. We're going to check this list off because it's a plan, right? Why do we follow Sean T's plan? Because it's a plan, right? It's a professional plan. Why do we follow these meal plans? It's a plan instead of getting up every day and just randomly going and saying, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know where I want to be. I don't know what I want to become. You have to have a plan. You have to determine that. So think about today. Think about what are you doing today that pushes you closer to your goals? How many of y'all have a dream? Anybody have a dream? Do you have a passion? I mean, just things that you just said right now. If I was to click on every one of y'all and say, where do you want to be 10 years from now? What do you want to become 10 years from now? I want to be debt-free 10 years from now. I want to be doing something that I love for a living. I want to be spending a ton of time with my boys. I got 2 of the best boys in the world. I want to be spending so much time with them. I want to be enjoying life. You got to have a dream. You got to have goals. But what are you doing right now, tonight, to push you closer to those dreams and those goals? And I'm telling you, this life sucks at times. How many of y'all believe this life sucks? Can I get a woo woo? Yep, it happens, right? It happens. And if you don't do personal development, if you don't fill your mind with stuff every day, I promise you, you'll become a zombie like everybody else. Because I don't know, let's guess low. 90% of the people that are in your life they're like vampires. They want to just suck the life out of you. They want to tell you, Beth, come on, Beth, really? Come, Beachbody coach, pyramid scheme. Come on, you're 2-star. Woo, 2 stars. Way to go, Beth. Congratulations. You're going to quit in 2 years from now. This is not going to last, Beth. That's what people do, right? Aaron, way to go. You're rocking this coach thing out. It's just going to fade away. You're not going to be doing it, 10 years from now. What are you going to be doing? It can't last. It's a pyramid scheme. It's a joke. It's a online business. What is that crap? Get a real job. How many of y'all have heard that kind of stuff? That's the type of people that are around us every day. And if you don't listen and read, and if you don't fill your mind with personal development, with the things that help you grow every day intentionally, then you're going to allow those things in your mind every day, and you'll quit. How many of y'all had coaches that quit? Anybody had coaches that quit? All the time. You know what? That don't surprise me. Most people are quitters, right? So think about tonight. Think about what are you doing today that pushes you towards your vision and towards your goals? What steps can you take each day, let's just say for the next week, to ensure that your bus that you're driving stays on the right path? I can tell you this right now. Personal development is one of those things that if you can do it every day, it'll ensure that you stay on the right path. It'll ensure that. And I don't just read. I listen to podcasts, right? And I don't know if y'all like him or not. I don't care. I do. Joel Osteen, he's a pastor, and he's got a mega church and all this different stuff. And people say he's too positive. And hey, that's fine. He don't ever talk about hell. He don't never talk about several things. But you know what? I want to fill my mind with the most positive things that I can have every day, right? So I listen to him all the time. I listen to him a lot. He's not my favorite pastor, but if I want something positive, I go to him. I listen to different podcasts all the time. I listen to positive music. Sometimes I turn on country music, and I love country music, but sometimes it just drags me down. My dog got run over, and my girlfriend's gone, and, drink a beer, smoke, and it's just like, oh, my God, let's turn this to something else. You know what I mean? You got to be intentional about it. Every day you got to be intentional, and that's where personal development comes in handy. And think about this. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. Life is not about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. There's too many people out there right now that and that's why a lot of bad things are happening, because they're out there searching, right? They're out there searching. They're out there seeking. They're out there looking for themselves, when really their self is right here, and it's about taking those highs and lows. A while ago, several of y'all raised your hand. You said you're going through hard times. I want to encourage you tonight with this. And Alicia talked about faith and talked about Christianity and things like that. And that's one thing, if you follow me, that I'm all about. And this is one thing I want to encourage you with tonight. If you're digging deep into personal development, this is what I believe about tough times. I believe that God's taken all the pieces of the puzzle of our life, the good, the bad, the ugly, the big, the small, and all those different things. And he's taking them and he's making something wonderful out of it. He's making something amazing and something beautiful out of it. And through those tough times that you're going through, if you'll dig in deep to personal development, if you'll dig in deep, for me, into my faith, if you'll dig in deep every day and take those tough times, because I see it in Sarah. I'm telling you, I don't talk to Sarah, but I see it in her posts. I see it in her videos and things like that. I see it in several of y'all's coaches that you're saying, you know what? I'm going to become better through this. I'm going to be my very best through this. And that's what this life is about. What are you becoming through those hard times? What are you becoming through those trials and tribulations? And it's about becoming better. And that's where personal development has helped me a lot. I'm going to end with this, and then I'll let y'all ask any questions. But I've heard this or read this somewhere. My memory is terrible with this kind of stuff. But I shared it on a call before, and it's so true. And I said this on a call before. If I was a woman, the world would end. If life depended on me and making babies, let's just say, I have had kidney stones. I have had an appendectomy. I've had my leg catch on fire. I've had all kind of different things happen to me in my life. But I would not want to birth babies. I just wouldn't. I would be like, 10 years old, and I'd be like, doctor, fix me, tear everything out, do whatever you want to do, because that kidney stones were awful. And I didn't intend to have kidney stones. So for you ladies to intentionally have babies is amazing to me, to be able to give birth. So think about that. Why do women go through that pain? 9 months, and I watch y'all ladies, and I'm telling you what, y'all blow my mind to be able to, several of y'all that are having children, and you still work out and you're still drinking your Shakeology and you're still doing all these different things. That's freaking amazing to me. So why do you go through those 9 months of your belly getting bigger, experiencing stretch marks, y'all throw up, y'all do all kind of different things? Why do you go through those things? Why do you go through those pains and through those struggles and through all that stuff? And I know the reason why is because you're creating a life, right? You sit there and you go through all those different things, and then when you've gone through all that pain, you see this life that you created, and it's worth it, right? It's worth it to you. It's worth it to you. It's the same thing with this life that we're going through now. The labors of life are terrible. There's struggles. But if we can dig into personal development, if we can surround ourselves with people like this right here, and if we can become something of it, and if we can create a life that's amazing, those struggles and those pains and all those stretch marks and all those nights that you want to throw up and go through, all those different things will be worth it. But most people give up way too soon before they get to see that life that they've created, right? They say, I give up. I'm done. I can't handle this no more. Life's too tough. And what do? They go try to find life somewhere else instead of creating their own life. And so tonight, when you get off this call, if you're into personal development, hey, that's great. Dig deeper into it. If you're not into personal development, I would rather you do personal development. Deidre might kill me for this, but I would rather you do personal development every day and skip your workout and Shakeology. I believe it's that life-changing. Now, don't tell me that you don't have time to do all three of them, because you do. I tell my coaches and challengers that all the time. That's just an excuse. You have time to do all of them. 10 minutes a day, change your life. but be intentional about that personal development. Battle through those struggles. And if some of y'all are going through struggles right now tonight, then I want to encourage you with this. I promise you this. I promise you you'll get through it, and I promise you can become a better person for it. Y'all got any questions or comments for me? I know that was shorter than normal. We had a few things at the beginning. I hope that helped. It has. It's changed my life. If y'all knew, Lori knows. Lori's my, let me see. Lori is my, I don't know how to get this right. We're kin. How about that? We're kinfolk. Lori knows my life and knows my story better than anybody on here. And if you knew my story, if you knew every detail of everything that I've been through in the past 3 or 4 years, I'm telling you, you would know that this has changed my life. This family's changed my life. This personal development's changed my life. And more than anything, it's been a God thing, right? He's placed all of y'all and all of this into my life as pieces of the puzzle to make something beautiful. But you have to be intentional about it. When you hit your lowest of low points, you have to dig deep and you have to say, you know what, today I'm going to fight even harder. I'm going to get through this. We can do this. But you have to be intentional about what you fill your mind with every day. Any questions or comments? I hope that helped. I hope that helped y'all. Because I know y'all help me every time I listen to y'all or watch y'all. Y'all encourage me every day. So no questions or comments?
Awesome as always, Michael.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for doing it. Michael, if you haven't done so, it would be awesome if you could post in Forever Fit, like some of your maybe your top 10 personal development favorites. I know that all of us need to pick different ones based on what we're struggling with, but guys, we saw his collection. He's got a lot of books in that closet. So I think if you could give us some of your favorites, maybe posted in Forever Fit, that would help a lot of especially new coaches.
Yeah, I'll definitely. Yeah, that's a good idea. Because I think it's more than, one thing that I learned when you start this, people say, go read The Compound Effect and The Slight Edge. And I get that, right? I get that for the business aspect of it and even for life. But there's more to it than that. People miss it.
I think it's important to know too, like for those of you who are new on the call tonight, just because one of us says that right now everybody's talking about the energy bus and they love it and it's like the book that all these coaches are reading, but it might not be the right book for you. I felt that way about the book a badass. Like I read it and I was like, I already thought I was a badass. Like I didn't need this book. Like you're gonna find, and I know this sounds silly, but you're gonna find books where you're like, I didn't need it. So you need to figure out what is your weakness. What do you need? And those are the books you look for. Don't just follow the trend. Don't just read the same book that we're all reading just because. So anyways.
Yeah, I agree. And a lot of people, for example, don't like Joel Osteen and they don't like to listen to preaching. You know what I mean? That's me. That's what I need every day. Some people like other stuff. But for me too, I do my this is every day, right? I'm digging into my Bible every day, every morning. But that's I don't consider that, even though it is the best personal development book that there is, I still do something in addition to. But for me too, listening to music, there's Betty was, she had posted something the other day and it was talking about this song by Hillsong. And it's, this song that I just love. And when I listen to that music, sometimes music can just get you so high, right? So be intentional about everything that you let into your mind. Everything. Be intentional about who's around you. Who your close friends are, right? All those different things. Because I do believe God put this on my heart 2 years ago, and I didn't know where it was going. It was better days ahead. You may see it as my hashtag sometimes, and I put it out there for people, but it's really for me. It's to remind me that I believe there's better days ahead in everything that we do. I really believe that. And you have to live with that hope every day or you'll give up. Like most people are. Look around you. When you go to work tomorrow, when you get out in life, look how many people are zombies that are just walking around and they're just, oh, thank God it's Friday. Nobody gets excited about Monday no more. Monday's, that's another day too, right? Another opportunity. But most people are just like, oh, thank goodness it's Friday. Then Saturday they complain about that, right? And then Sunday, oh God, tomorrow's Monday. You know what I mean? Be excited about it. Be set apart. Be weird. I want people to look at you and say, oh my God, Kim, she's so happy all the time. I'm like, what's wrong with her? Smile. When people look at you, Kim sent me something the other day, and it was just awesome. When people look at you, say, what is wrong with her? What is wrong with him? Why does he smile all the time? He's going through that, and he's still smiling. Sarah just went through that, and she's still strong. She's still whatever. You have your weaknesses. It don't mean you have to be happy all the time, but there's a peace about you that's with you all the time. That's the difference, right? I'm not happy all the time, but there's a peace there, and it comes from a lot of the personal development. So, okay. Thank y'all for getting on. I appreciate it. And I'll post that in Forever Fit. It'll either be tonight or tomorrow. I got to go take care of a dog that my son just brought home that I didn't really know was coming. So I'll probably do that tonight, and then I'll post in there Forever Fit tomorrow. So y'all have a good night.